It's happening, and by it, I mean 2/3 of my prediction have already come true on this show. These are my assorted thoughts on the December 13th, 2024 WWE Smackdown. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications to get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, wrestling opinion pieces, WWE Premium Live Event prediction videos and review videos, and assorted thoughts on Raw and SmackDown. Now, I'm recording this on December the 14th, 2024. It's about 3:15, 3:20 in the afternoon. So I just saw SmackDown last night, and Saturday night's main event is tonight. And that's relevant because my whole big intro, it's happening, is because on my prediction video for Saturday night's main event, I made one prediction that was a little bit difficult because I didn't have all of the two participants in that match named. I'm talking about the Women's United States Championship tournament, the tournament to crown the inaugural Women's United States Champion. I predicted that Michin would advance over Tiffany Stratton, and she did. Now, don't get me wrong, as this picture clearly indicates, Stratton did dominate for a lot of the match. And she still has the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't think she's going to cash in on this champion. I think she's now been propelled to the main event scene. It's going to be Nia. We'll see when that happens, though. But the main reason I hope that Michin would win this match and why I predicted was because if Stratton won, then Bayley winning the other match would make sense. But if Michin won, it made the next outcome all the more possible. While Bayley put on a very good show, Chelsea Green advanced to the finals. I, of course, am very happy. I said from the beginning even before I heard about this title being announced, that a women's mid-card title was specifically made so Chelsea Green could have a championship. I think she's amazing. I definitely think she's main event caliber, but storyline-wise, character-wise, you can't really see her as a world champion, but a mid-card title like the Women's United States Championship, definitely. I think this belt was made for her. And I also thought her and Michin makes a lot more sense in the final match. Her and Tiffany Stratton, not so much. As for Bayley, yes, the idea of having a main eventer, one of the four horsewomen, a superstar, be the inaugural Women's United States Champion would give that belt more credibility. But I think all we need is Chelsea to have it. It's going to have its own credibility. Bayley, though, did put on a good show, like I said, and she's now what I also like is, yes, Piper Niven did interfere a bit, so earlier in the match without the referee seeing, so Bayley does have an out, I guess you could say, but still, she pretty much lost clean. In fact, Chelsea almost won by count. I thought, okay, that's how they're going to do it, because I was like trying to game ways that Bayley could legitimately lose before I realized, no, Bayley will put someone over. Like, Bayley didn't lose any credibility in this. She's in a different whole title scene entirely. And I love the fact that Chelsea Green had a legitimate victory over Bayley after having a victory over, I think, Blair Davenport in the last match, because Bianca Belair took herself out of the match because Jade got injured. So, yeah, that wasn't really a victory over Bianca Belair, although technically it was. And now she has a legitimate victory over Bayley. If her and Michin's going to be a great match, and who knows, Michin might win. But my prediction, 2/3 of it have come true. The other third, Chelsea's got to win at Saturday night's main event. And speaking of the Jade Cargill attack, one of the results of Jade Cargill being taken out is that Nick Aldis was going to make Bianca Belair relinquish the Women's Tag Team Championships until her good friend who was standing next to her, Naomi, said, you know what, maybe I'll be the champion, kind of like a Freebird rule thing. And yeah, Naomi's going to get to be a tag team champion without winning it. Now, some might say that's just her being a good friend to Bianca. Others might call that motive. Yeah, Bayley had the motive to get into the War Games match, but I don't think it's Bayley. Jade, Bianca, and Naomi were the trio at WrestleMania. And only two of them won the tag team titles. So, yeah, maybe Naomi took out Jade Cargill with the ultimate hopes of becoming one of the tag team champions. Now, they have a match next week against Piper. No, against Piper, against Nia Jax. and Candice LeRae. Maybe it's going to be revealed during that match that it was Naomi who took out Jade, and maybe Bianca's going to lose the match on purpose. Who knows where it's going to go? Who knows if it actually is Naomi? But right now, she is my main suspect. But I'm going to still do a video on who took out Jade Cargill, who attacked Jade Cargill, as a separate video. Okay, I see why LA Knight lost the United States Championship. It looks like the Bloodline attack last week on Knight and Andrade wasn't as random and unrelated to them as it looked at the time. Now it looks like they're doing a program, possibly LA Knight versus Solo, as they had in this match, because this match ended with a DQ, or maybe LA Knight and Andrade versus the New Bloodline, and Apollo Crews versus the New Bloodline. So that's an interesting little feud. And I think that feud definitely does not need the United States Championship, because you don't want, for example, Knight and Solo to be passing back and forth this mid-card title. Solo's whole thing is he's the tribal chief to fight Roman. But yeah, so it actually makes kind of sense that Shinsuke is going to hold the title for a while, so LA Knight can feud with the Bloodline along with Andrade and Apollo Crews. Good to see Apollo getting some screen time. So, okay, that decision makes sense. And Shinsuke, well, he cut another promo. I don't know where he's going to go next. And speaking of the Bloodline, cinema. Yes, the widescreen letterbox format, the beach setting or the boat setting with Roman in the foreground, Paul Heyman in the background. This is a perfect, reel for Hollywood for Roman Reigns. I think he's already been there. He's probably going to go there at some point too. And I'm pretty sure this is another Paul Heyman production. But as far as the substance of it, wow, the first Raw on Netflix already has a tribal combat match without the tribes, or the tribes as spectators. So a one-on-one tribal combat match. I guess they can cheat, but other people can't interfere. For the Ulafala is going to be on the first Raw on Netflix. Wow, they are really stacking that show. Also, I'm pretty sure that means, well, I think we already knew The Rock was going to be there. So now The Rock is probably maybe going to come in at the beginning, do some talk or something, and then show up at the end of Tribal Combat to set up the next thing. So it already has a stellar main event. I think there's going to be some other primo matches on this card. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I definitely did enjoy this segment. Jimmy Uso opening the show was fun. I liked him talking about his big toe, which is injured, and why he had the crutch, the whole thing. But when he started talking about, I'm here on my own, Big Jim's here. I mean, the OTC isn't here. Jey Uso isn't here. Sammy isn't here. CM Punk isn't even here. That was a great way to say, that's why these people aren't going to help me when they get attacked in like 2 seconds. Welcome to SmackDown, Drew McIntyre. Now, again, at the end of the promo, it felt like someone was going to do a run-in, because they weren't just going to leave it at that fun thing. And in my mind, for some reason, I didn't register it was going to be Drew McIntyre like the last time. Of course, it should have been Drew. He's got the big match at Saturday Night's main event against Sammy, but yeah, him taking out Jimmy made perfect sense. And we found out that he's through the transfer window, he's going to SmackDown, which is interesting. Drew on SmackDown. Obviously, maybe it's to separate him from Punk. Punk's going to be on Raw, put him closer to some of the Bloodline members. Who knows where they're going to go with this, but it definitely was interesting. Also, welcome to SmackDown, Braun Strowman. Now, pretty much squashing Carmelo Hayes is something I maybe could have done without. I think they should maybe give a bigger push to Carmelo. Even maybe they're squashing him before he leaves SmackDown for Raw, like they actually are two companies, same company, anyways. It made sense storyline wise. He's been pretty pompous. He lasted longer with Cody Rhodes than he did with Braun Strowman, and yeah, his out is the fact that he didn't know it was going to be Braun Strowman. So fair play. As far as Braun being on SmackDown, I saw the backstage segment, and I kind of want a pairing of him with Pretty Deadly. I know it seems pretty odd, and maybe they will do a Pretty Deadly musical, but just don't do it on Raw or SmackDown. Make it a solo video on WWE's YouTube or something, like 20 minutes with Braun Strowman trying to sing, or something on Netflix. I don't know. Regardless, I think they might even actually pull the trigger on that one, because right after he was talking to Austin Theory and Grayson Waller is going to be on the Grayson Waller effect. I think he's going to attack them. And you know what? I think maybe a babyface comedy act, Pretty Deadly with Braun Strowman, could work, because I think Pretty Deadly is maxed out as their cowardly heel characters. I think a pairing with Strowman could work. Stranger things have happened. Of course, Kevin Owens appeared on the screen. I mean, I was thinking he was going to insist that he drive his rental car up to Cody's bus and Michael Cole stand in between them and they're both talking from the windows, but that would have been too much. But yeah, I mean, I expected him not to show up in the ring. I also expected him to jump Cody in the back and for there to be a brawl. Someone even noticed and posted online that KO was wearing a Stardust t-shirt, which complimented his reference that he was that Cody was better as Stardust. Now, they also hinted at what the surprise that that Triple H is giving to Cody. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Winged Eagle belt. Others have speculated, who knows, maybe even KO is going to either win it, destroy it, or just take it after Cody wins and destroy the belt, which is interesting. This segment, though, it was kind of expected. It was kind of I kind of wish they had gone off the air with Chelsea Green advancing to the finals, but you know what? It's setting up Saturday night's main event, and this was a good, heated segment. Although expected, it was a good way to do it. And these were my assorted thoughts on the December 13th, 2024 WWE Smackdown. Do you agree with my takes? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. I will be back with my review of Saturday night's main event and then assorted thoughts on Raw. And I'm also working on my top matches and top moments of the year videos. Those should be out soon as well, too. For Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.